Have you ever really thought about it? How a simple tap of your foot can bring a 2-ton hunk of metal speeding down the highway to a complete stop? It feels like magic, but it's not. It's actually a pretty amazing dance between physics and engineering. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain on your car's most important safety feature, its brakes.
So, how do you get from a light press of a pedal to enough force to stop a whole car? Well, it all boils down to two key ideas working together perfectly. First, you've got the raw power of friction. And second, the really clever force-multiplying magic of something called hydraulics. Let's break it down.
Okay, the first piece of our puzzle is a force we've all felt before, friction. It's just that resistance you get when two things rub against each other. And honestly, it's the undisputed hero of our story today.
To get a feel for it, just imagine sliding your hand across a super smooth, polished table. It just glides, right? Almost no effort at all. That's a low-friction situation. There's almost nothing trying to stop you.
Okay, now picture doing the exact same thing, but this time on a rough carpet. Your hand just drags. It's way harder to move. That powerful resistance you're feeling, that's high friction. And that is exactly what a car's brakes are designed to create, instantly, whenever you need it.
So yeah, in a nutshell, friction is the force that fights against motion. The entire point of your car's braking system is to create a massive, but very controlled, amount of friction to turn all that forward momentum into stopping power.
But how do you apply all that friction at the wheels? And how do you do it powerfully and in the blink of an eye? Well, the answer is in the second key ingredient of braking, a brilliant system called hydraulics.
Hydraulics is all about using liquid to move force from one place to another. See, your car's brake lines are filled with a special fluid that can't be squished or compressed, and that's the key. It means when you push on it at one end, that exact same pressure shows up instantly at the other end. It's like a lightning-fast messenger.
And here is where the real genius kicks in. Because of some really clever engineering, the little bit of pressure you put on the brake pedal gets multiplied a lot by the time it gets to the wheels. So a small push from your foot becomes this massive clamping force, more than enough to stop that 4,000-pound machine. It's like a superpower for your foot.
Okay, so we've got our game plan. We're using friction to do the actual stopping and hydraulics to send the command. Now let's meet the two players that actually get the job done at the wheels: disc brakes and drum brakes. First up, we've got disc brakes. These are the most common kind you'll find on cars today. They're real workhorses, known for their awesome performance, and you'll find them on everything from a high-performance sports car to a giant airplane.
Here's the basic idea. You've got this big metal disc called a rotor that spins with the wheel. When you hit the brakes, that hydraulic fluid we talked about rushes to a clamp-like thing called a caliper. The caliper then squeezes two high-friction brake pads onto the disc, creating a ton of friction and slowing you down fast.
You know, the easiest way to picture it is to imagine a plate is spinning on a table. If you wanted to stop it, you'd just pinch it with your fingers, right? The harder you squeeze, the faster it stops. That's it. That's the simple but super powerful idea behind disc brakes. All right, so now let's talk about the other main type of brake, the drum brake. Now, it's an older design for sure, but it's still really effective, and you'll find it on the back wheels of a lot of cars today, doing its job reliably. So where disc brakes clamp from the outside in, drum brakes do the complete opposite. They work from the inside out. The hydraulic fluid pushes a pair of curved brake shoes outward, and they press against the inside of a spinning drum. That creates the friction that slows the wheel down.
A pretty good way to think about it is like this. Imagine a big salad ball is spinning around. To stop it, you'd have to stick your hands inside and press your palms outward against the walls. That's basically how a drum brake works.
So there you have it. Two different ways to get the job done: squeezing from the outside or pushing from the inside. But which one is better? Well, let's take a quick look at the pros and cons of each.
Looking at this, one thing really jumps out, and that's cooling. Disc brakes are wide open to the air, so they get rid of heat way faster than a closed-up drum brake. This is a huge deal because it means disc brakes are way less likely to overheat and stop working, which is a problem called brake fade. And that is exactly why you'll almost always find disc brakes on the front wheels, since they do about 70% of the work when you stop.
So, as you can probably tell by now, your car's braking system is this really complex, finely tuned machine. Every single part, from the pedal all the way down to the brake pads, has a super important job to do to bring you to a safe, controlled stop. It's all about teamwork.
And what's really wild is that this entire process, from your foot touching the pedal to the car being at a dead stop,
happens in a fraction of a second. It's just a testament to how fast and efficient these systems are when they're all working in perfect sync.
But wait, there's one more critical piece to this whole puzzle. A moving car has a ton of kinetic energy. That's the energy of motion. And according to the laws of physics, that energy can't just disappear into thin air when you stop. It has to be converted into something else. So where does it go?
The answer is actually pretty simple. It turns into heat. All of it. That friction between the pads and the discs or the shoes and the drums, it takes all that forward motion energy and turns it into thermal energy. In other words, your brakes are basically designed to get really, really hot.
And I'm not talking a little warm either. We're talking about a serious amount of heat. If you're braking hard, like coming down a steep mountain, your brake rotors can get over 500 degrees Celsius. That's hot enough to cook a pizza. And that's exactly why brakes are made with special materials and designs, like vents in the rotors, to get rid of all that extreme heat as fast as possible.
So, let's recap the whole journey one last time. Your foot presses the pedal. The fluid moves and multiplies that force. The brakes clamp down, creating massive friction. That friction turns all the car's motion into intense heat. And just like that, the car safely stops. It's just a beautiful example of science and engineering working together perfectly.
So, the next time you're driving and you tap that brake pedal, maybe take a half second to appreciate the incredible technology that's keeping you safe. Because in the world of cars, going fast is exciting, for sure, but being able to stop, well, that's everything.